Martell Holt's life has always been filled with drama, but this time the shock is not coming from his ex-wife Melody, not from the internet, and not even from the producers of his show. The twist is coming from his own mother, Martell Holt, who has now made it clear that she will not support any marriage between her son and Arionne Curry. This is a major change because Martell has always stood by Martell, no matter what the public said about him. She defended him when people called him out for cheating, when he had public meltdowns, and even during his most embarrassing court appearances. But now, after years of support, Martell has drawn a line. And that line is hitting Martell harder than anything else because when your own mother says no, it cuts deeper than anything said by fans, ex-wives, or critics online. For years, Arionne Curry has been tied to Martell's chaos. Her name has come up in connection with his cheating scandal, her social media rants have gone viral, and her presence has always been linked to the breakdown of Martell's image as a family man. While Martell might have thought that marrying her could fix things or prove his loyalty, Martell has stepped in to say she will never support such a decision. This statement is powerful because it comes from the one person who always gave Martell the benefit of the doubt. The internet exploded as soon as this came out, with fans calling it the end of Martell's free pass. Social media timelines filled with posts about how even Martell is done, and people could not believe that Martell had finally lost the person who protected him the most. The reason this is so shocking is because Martell was always his safety net. Whenever people attacked Martell's behavior, she brushed it off. Whenever he was criticized for his choices, she would explain it away by saying that's just how Martell is. She was his shield when others would have left him to face the fire alone. But now, her shield is gone, and that leaves Martell completely exposed. What makes this even more explosive is that Martell is not only refusing to support a marriage between Martell and Arionne, but she is also drawing a clear comparison between Melody Shari and Arionne Curry. According to reports, she said Melody brought strength and order into Martell's life, while Arionne has only brought chaos and disruption. That is a huge statement because when a mother publicly praises her son's ex-wife and criticizes the woman he is currently with, it sends a message that cannot be ignored. For Martell, this is devastating. He has always relied on his mother to stand beside him, even when he was wrong. In his world, she was supposed to support him blindly. But when she refused to do that, it left him visibly shaken. People noticed that Martell, who is usually quick to run to Instagram to defend himself, suddenly had nothing to say. He was silent, and that silence spoke louder than any words. Fans saw this as proof that Martell's rejection hit him harder than anything else he has faced before. Martell has been dragged by Melody, mocked by the public, and criticized by other cast members, but he always had his mother. Now that he has lost that support, he looks more fragile than ever. The internet is not letting this go. Fans are digging up old interviews and clips trying to figure out when Martell's loyalty started to crack. Some people say it was after Martell divorced Melody and began slipping further away from stability. Others say it was the non-stop chaos caused by Arionne's rants online that embarrassed the entire family. And some believe Martell simply grew tired of defending Martell when he refused to change his behavior. Whatever the reason, the fallout is huge. The idea that his own mother has said no to his relationship with Arionne has changed the way people see him, and the scandal is growing bigger every day. This has also led to questions about Martell's identity. For so long, his story has been built around the women in his life. His wife Melody protected the household, his mistress Arionne fueled the gossip, and his mother defended him in public. But now, all three of those roles have collapsed. Melody has moved on, Arionne is being rejected by the family, and his mother is no longer defending him. Without those pillars, Martell's image as the untouchable man who thrives in chaos is breaking apart. And fans are watching closely, enjoying every twist in his downfall. Reports are also coming out that Martell's words were not just a moment of frustration, but a deliberate stand. Allegedly, she even told producers that she would not sit on camera and pretend to support Martell's decisions when she believed they were destroying both his image and his family. If that is true, then Martell's statement was not just about protecting her own peace, it was about refusing to be part of enabling Martell any longer. And this has made the situation even more dramatic because now it is not just a family issue, but a television storyline that could shift the focus of the entire show. As soon as Marlene's words aired, social media went wild. Twitter became a battlefield of opinions. Instagram lives were filled with people replaying the clip. YouTube commentators rushed to call it the betrayal of the century. People said this was the most shocking thing to happen in Martell's story so far because it was the one betrayal he never expected. The betrayal from his mother. Martell, who once built his entire brand on control and confidence, now looks like a man whose world is falling apart in real time. The comparisons between Melody and Arionne also add another layer of drama. Melody has moved on, focused on her businesses and personal growth. Meanwhile, Arionne continues to be associated with late-night rants and messy fights online. When Martell's own mother points out that difference, it validates what many fans have been saying for years, that Martell made a huge mistake by choosing chaos over stability. And now, with Marlene taking a stand, it is harder for Martell to deny the truth. Fans believe that this moment may push Arionne to respond publicly. She has a history of posting long, emotional rants whenever she feels attacked. And now that Marlene has openly rejected her, many expect Arionne to lash out with her own words. That would only make the situation worse because it would create a public war between Martell's mother and the woman he is with. For Martell, being caught in the middle of that would be a nightmare, especially since the cameras are rolling and producers are more than ready to capture every second of it. Behind the scenes, insiders say Marlene has told friends that she fears Martell is beyond saving. She reportedly believes that marrying Arionne would only make things worse, bringing more financial problems and even more chaos into his life. Some sources even say she worries about his businesses collapsing if he continues on this path. These whispers have added even more fuel to the fire because they suggest that Marlene is not just rejecting Arionne for personal reasons, but because she genuinely believes it would destroy her son's future. And it is not just about family anymore. Sponsors linked to Martell's ventures are said to be reconsidering their deals. They do not want to be tied to a man who looks unstable, especially when his own mother is publicly saying she does not support his choices. Friends who once stood by him are reportedly distancing themselves, not wanting to be caught in his downfall. It is a domino effect, with every part of Martell's world crumbling at once. What makes this even sadder is the irony. Martell always wanted to appear as the man in control, the sharp dresser, the smooth talker, the successful builder. But while he could build houses, he could not build peace in his own household. That contradiction is what fans are pointing out now. They see his public image collapsing under the weight of his personal chaos, and they are saying this is the ultimate example of pride coming before the fall. The biggest question now is what comes next. If Martell continues to push forward with Arionne despite his mother's rejection, he risks even more backlash. If he tries to win his mother's support back, it may already be too late. The producers of his show are watching this unfold, and many believe they will use this moment to shift the spotlight onto Marlene and Melody, leaving Martell out of control of his own storyline. That is perhaps the most painful part for him, losing control not only of his family but also of his public image. People online are already joking that the producers must be celebrating, because scandals like this keep ratings high. And they are not wrong. Viewers are treating this like a cultural event. Group chats are buzzing, memes are spreading, and fans are talking about it non-stop. For Martell, though, this is not entertainment. This is his life unraveling in front of millions of people, and it is not just fans who are reacting. Some insiders believe government eyes could eventually turn toward his finances if the drama continues. Scandals like this often lead to deeper investigations, and if Martell's businesses are already under pressure, that could open another storm he is not ready for. The possibility of legal trouble adds another dangerous layer to the chaos, and Marlene's rejection only makes it harder for him to escape that narrative. At the heart of all this is a simple but painful truth. Martell could have avoided much of this if he had chosen humility over pride. But time after time, his decisions have shown that he cannot resist chaos. And now, his own mother is refusing to support him, leaving him alone to face the consequences. Fans are calling it the ultimate downfall, not just of a reality TV star, but of a man whose pride blinded him to the damage he was causing. The silence from Martell throughout all this is telling. Normally, he would rush to social media to post a rebuttal, share selfies, or rant on live streams. But this time, he has said nothing. That silence suggests he knows how serious this is. His usual bravado is gone, replaced by the image of a man who has finally realized that even his mother has had enough. And that is why this story is so gripping. It is not just about family drama. It is about the collapse of an image, the end of blind loyalty, and the painful truth that sometimes the strongest opponent is not your critics or your ex-wife, but your own reflection in the mirror. For Martell Holt, that reality has arrived. And now, the world is watching to see if he will rise from it or continue to crumble under the weight of his choices.